I really have no interest in talking about this person, Laura Loomer. Like, I would love to just ignore her as an extremist, like batshit, insane, bigot. She's a failed congressional candidate. She's a conspiracy theorist. She's a huge fan of Donald Trump. But sadly, she's not just someone we can, condemn and make fun of, because she actually has Donald Trump's ear, as we're going to learn soon. So she describes Islam as a cancer on society. She calls herself a proud Islamophobe. She calls Muslims savages. She's been banned from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also Lyft and Uber because she said that someone needs to create a non-Islamic form of Uber or Lyft because I never want to support another Islamic immigrant driver. Also, she got really upset when she was banned from Twitter. Let's just take a look at this video.
Mocked me and called me crazy, but what are they doing? I want to know what people are actually going to do. My life is ruined. Does anybody understand how ruined my life is? I'm sick of it. I don't want to listen to people tell me that I'm a conspiracy theorist. They don't know what it's like to be me. My life is ruined, Alex.
No, I understand. I just think you need to go with it. And
I've lost 90% of my income. That's not going to stop the fact that I literally can't make a living anymore, even though I have a degree. I'm sick of it. I'm fighting harder than most.
Wait, yeah, of course. I mean, not just point of information, like you've lost 90% of your income. That's not going to stop the fact that I can't make a living. Yeah, of course. Like she's doing just fine. I know. Yeah. She also needs to get some like her money back. Maybe some way that she can make money is getting money back for that degree, because clearly they did not give her a good education.
Conservatives, I'm fighting harder than anybody, and I'm being destroyed, and they mock me and they say I'm some crazy conspiracy.
Well, that's what happens.
Life is unlivable at this point in time. Like, what is the point?
Don't say that, Laura. You're a hero to a lot of people.
Man, if only Alex Jones. Should have kept going with that. Yep. What is the point?
I know.
The rest of my life, I could potentially live 75 more years. You know what I'm saying? And like my life now, I have to worry about getting murdered by leftists and Muslims every single time I go outside.
It's disgusting. Oh, I know. They're so protected. It's so sick.
So sick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's under threat. Somehow she's made it. That was years ago.
She's really made it now. Look at her now, right in the Trump White House, having Trump's ear.
She's survived so many assassination attempts. I mean, there were
from Shakespeare in the Park to this. Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So this woman, though, was very upset. It's not enough that she had to deal with being banned from Twitter at one point. She is very upset by something she had to witness. It really is, to be fair. It's extremely upsetting. Brad, let's take a look at her first tweet about what she witnessed.
Her fake tires being slashed.
Oh, well, this is even worse.
Oh God.
Exclusive. This is from Laura Loomer. Exclusive. Despite the U.S. saying we are not accepting Palestinian refugees, in quotes, into the United States under the Trump administration, I have obtained video footage of Palestinians who claim to be refugees from Gaza coming into the United States via San Francisco and Houston, Texas this month. The Palestinians traveled from Gaza to the U.S. with the help of a group called HEAL Palestine. How did Palestinians get visas under the Trump administration to get into the United States? Did State Department approve this? How did they get out of Gaza? Is Secretary Rubio aware of this? Who from the State Department is assisting HEAL Palestine? Why are any Islamic invaders coming into the U.S. under the Trump administration? Who approved these visas? This is a national security threat. We didn't vote for more Islamic immigration into the United States. Who signed off on these visas? They should be fired. Okay, she sounds like an insane person, obviously, right? Well, actually, stay tuned, because what happens next, you're not going to believe it. After she tweeted it out, and because she tagged the State Department and Marco Rubio, literally the next day, the State Department announced all visitor visas for individuals from Gaza are being stopped while we conduct a full and thorough review of the process and procedures used to issue a small number of temporary medical humanitarian visas in recent days. Okay. Next, what happens? She actually brags about basically controlling foreign policy. So she writes, following the release of my reports yesterday exposing flights of Gazans arriving at airports all across the U.S.
Gazans!
I know, what the hell is wrong with her? The U.S. State Department just announced that all visitor visas for individuals from Gaza are being stopped. Okay, so this is fantastic news. Thank you, Secretary Rubio, for your prompt response to this invasion of our country by NGOs that have been accused of being pro-Hamas. Hopefully, all Gazans will be added to President Trump's travel ban. There are doctors in other countries. The U.S. is not the world's hospital. Okay, so she wants all people from Gaza to be banned, including children. Gaza has become the capital of child amputations. And it just so happens to be that those weapons that are killing Palestinian children, maiming them, forcing them to undergo amputations without anesthesia, those weapons happen to be made here, but we should ban them from coming here. God forbid. And it's not like the government is paying for this. This is an NGO called HEAL Palestine that a guy named Steve Sosebee founded, who used to be with Palestinian Relief for Children. He is the guy covering this. They raise money. In fact, like the irony is the U.S. should be funding this. Like the U.S. should be using our taxpayer dollars not to blow up kids, but to save kids. But no, for her, the crime is not the genocide. The crime is letting children come to be operated on after having their limbs blown off, after losing their parents, their siblings. Let's see how Rubio responds to this. Here he is on Face the Nation.
Why did the State Department just announce that they're halting visitor visas for all Gazans coming here for medical aid? Why would some of these kids, for example, who are coming to hospitals for treatment be a threat?
Well, first of all, it's not just kids. It's a bunch of adults that are accompanying them. Second, we had outreach from multiple congressional offices asking questions about it. And so we're going to reevaluate how those visas are being granted, not just to the children, but how those visas are being granted to the people who are accompanying them. And by the way, to some of the organizations that are facilitating it. There is evidence been presented to us by numerous congressional offices that some of the organizations bragging about and involved in acquiring these visas have strong links to terrorist groups like Hamas. And so we are not going to be in partnership with groups that are friendly with Hamas. So we're going to pause those visas. There was just a small number of them issued to children, but they come with adults accompanying them, obviously. And we are going to pause this program and reevaluate how those visas are being vetted and what relationship, if any, has there been by these organizations to the process of acquiring those visas. We're not going to be in partnership with groups that have links or sympathies towards Hamas.
Okay, first of all, there's absolutely no evidence of that, like absolutely none. But I'm glad that they're erring on the side of keeping children out of this country for operations that this country is responsible for in large part to fix things that this government has enabled through funding this genocide and arming this genocide. Okay, last thing. I have to show this. So this is how inverted and perverse our world is. Democrats have been mostly silent. Jason Crow was on Face the Nation, asked by Margaret Brennan about this. He said nothing. Like he didn't condemn what Rubio was saying.
The Secretary of State just said that lawmakers had come to the Trump administration with information that they've been granting visas to individuals with ties to Hamas or with organizations with ties to Hamas. That's a pretty stunning accusation. Israel controls who enters and exits Gaza. The United States screens all visas. So is there really a blind spot that you are aware of?
I'm not aware of that, but if that's true, actually, that is concerning. That would be a problem. I mean, Hamas is a brutal terrorist organization. They should not be traveling anywhere. So if that's happening, it should be stopped immediately. The Intelligence Committee has a role to play in that.
But the Intelligence Committee wasn't behind the information presented to the Secretary of State?
I have not been briefed on that. I have no information about it.
He basically doubled down on that. Yeah, we can't work with Hamas. Okay, this is the opposition party. Look who actually called out the position and the new policy of the Trump administration. Ready?
Jump scare.
Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Green. Okay. She writes, 2 recent decisions made by the State Department both involve children. We need to be the America that allows war-torn children to come here for life-saving surgeries and the America that never releases a foreign child sex predator that our great law enforcement officers caught. But in this circumstance, those war-torn children are from Gaza, and this foreign child sex predator is from Israel and works directly for Netanyahu. Let me guess, would it be anti-Semitic to drag Netanyahu's cyber executive director back and prosecute this POS to the full extent of the law, and at the same time let Palestinian kids who had their limbs and bodies blown apart receive surgeries in America? And of course, I'm not saying bring in refugees or use taxpayer dollars, not at all, but when did America's heart grow so cold to refuse innocent children privately funded surgeries, and then they return home after they recover? Wouldn't we allow Israeli children if they were the ones needing surgery, or war-torn children from any other country? And the most concerning question is, when and how did America become so subservient to Israel that we immediately release a child sex predator after arrest with a 100% locked up case with evidence and let him off to fly back home to Israel. What would we do with a Mexican child sex predator, a Chinese child sex predator, any other country's child sex predator? I know God does not discriminate in his love for children. Why would we? And this, of course, is an insane story. So she's basically, making a very good point, and she's contrasting the way that the United States is now treating children who made the mistake of being born in Gaza, made the mistake of getting themselves, I guess, blown up by the Israeli government with our support. They are being banned and no longer allowed into this country. But if you were a child sex predator, you will be, even though there's evidence against you, you will be released and allowed to go back to Israel.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, HEAL Palestine is an incredible NGO, has nothing to do with Hamas. Even if they did, who cares?
Right.
You have to coordinate with the government of Gaza in order to get kids out who are being blown up with our tax dollars and weaponry made in the USA. These people are heroes. I mean, these people are saints.
Yeah.
These children are, a lot of them are orphans, limbless. The UN says that 10 children a day lose their limbs in Gaza from our weapons and with the support of our government. I can't say I am too shocked because we knew about the nonprofit killer that was sitting in Congress that the majority of Congress already approved of, which would strip nonprofits of their charitable status if they supported Palestine, not even to do with Hamas. It's just if you support Palestine, you can be stripped of your nonprofit status. That could apply to me, JVP, HEAL, PCJF, the list goes on and on and on. The fact that we were allowing Palestinian children to come here, of course, we have the most specialized doctors in the world, obviously high-tech equipment that could really help these children. And so it's just sadistic, plain and simple. The fact that someone like Laura Loomer, who should be just cast away from society, a complete pariah, never taken seriously, and jobless, like she was crying about on InfoWars several years ago. Instead, she has pretty much might as well have a top position at the Trump White House. He wanted to give her a position. And I think it's actually good that the mask has been completely ripped off. This is an unabashed white nationalist government. Stephen Miller's running the immigration policy. Laura Loomer is somehow running our visa policy. Speaking to Marco Rubio, who looked like he was like on a coke bender, complaining about shadowy silhouettes of Venezuelan operatives following him around in a hotel at 4 a.m. This guy's a maniac, lunatic. Thanks, Bernie Sanders, for that vote.
Yeah,
but it just again shows the egregious double standard, impunity, and just hypocritical like nature of our policy with Israel. And this wasn't just some random guy in Las Vegas, just on a bender. As we know, a lot of pedophiles and a lot of criminals can evade prosecution in Israel because of the right to return law or whatever. If you're just Jewish, you can just go and live there and expel a Palestinian. But this wasn't just some random guy. This was the top senior cyber warfare official. According to the police report that Netanyahu claims, no, he was never arrested. He was just questioned and then let go. No, this guy was in a sting operation, caught trying to lure a 15-year-old girl into having sex with him, all documented. Once he was arrested, the police report said that he claimed he was meeting with NSA officials here and that he had already met with several in the bureau. This was a top guy in Netanyahu's cabinet coming here, trying to solicit sex from underage girls. This doesn't bode well for the people obsessed with Epstein and thinking that there's this conspiracy of a pedophilic elite running a sex trafficking operation that's being covered up, does it? Because, as Trump is speaking out of both sides of his mouth, pretending like he has nothing to do with the Epstein files, even though we know that Jeffrey Epstein said out of the horse's mouth that Trump was his best friend and the Trump Hotel and all of this shit. It just seems like he was actually an integral part of the entire Epstein blackmail operation. And we know that Epstein, according to Trump's labor secretary currently, that he belonged to intelligence. Epstein belonged to intelligence, so leave it alone. So it really doesn't bode well, does it? That another sex criminal is getting swept up and basically taken out of the country. Trump administration intervened took this pedophile out of the country and exported him to Israel, well, he'll be safe and sound for the rest of his life. And you're never going to hear another peep about it from Pam Bondi as they're releasing Ghislaine Maxwell into into another nicer jail and potentially going to release her. I mean, it's just so beyond the pale. It's the most obvious conspiracy in the world. So I just hope that all of the people who hung their hats on Epstein didn't kill himself, they can see with their own eyes, right? That their cult hero is lying to their face. That this is the guy who's actually covering up sex criminals and sex pests. This is your hero, guys. I mean, it's just so, you cannot make this up. You honestly cannot make it up.
It really is awful. I mean, and here's the perp. Police say Tom Artem Alexandrovich brought a condom and thought he was meeting teenager for sexual conduct. Israeli government official charged with soliciting 15-year-old girls, and an Israeli government official charged with soliciting a minor believed he was meeting a 15-year-old girl for sexual contact. Tom Artem Alexandrovich, a division head at the Israel National Cyber Directorate, was arrested in a police sting operation aimed at online users seeking to sexually prey on children. What you can't make up is the fact that he's now back in Israel. He's back in Israel. And this is not, sadly, an isolated incident. Here we go. A previously unreported spreadsheet of 2,152 international legal requests with the state of Israel was hidden within last year's anonymous of justice leaks. Among other things, the leak shows the delayed or failed attempts of the DOJ to extradite various sex abusers from Israel where they had fled to evade justice. And here we go. That's him again. And after pleading guilty in 2002 to abusing 3 children from ages 8 to 10 and serving time in jail, the Los Angeles-based Rabbi Mordechai Yom Tov violated his probation by fleeing to Israel by way of Mexico, where he acquired a fake passport. Another story, the American citizen Jimmy Julius Caro similarly fled the United States after being accused of sexually assaulting a 9-year-old girl in Oregon. Was sentenced to 13 years in jail by an Israeli court in early 2021 regarding a separate case involving dozens of rapes of 2 girls. According to the leaked overview of active international legal requests, the Israeli Ministry of Justice opened cases regarding the U.S. government extradition requests for Caro and Yom Tov, both characterized under sex with minors. So there you have it, guys. This is our, draining the swamp president.
This is draining the swamp. I mean, what happened to all the QAnon energy, all the satanic panic that fueled the first Trump administration? I mean, all the spirit cooking, the Podesta leaks. Where's all that energy now for the actual pedophile ring that is being protected by Trump? It's just so insane. I mean, it's right in front of your faces, guys. It's Trump and his cohorts. Yep. They hoodwinked you. So, it's just the same playbook, Katie, that the real criminals are protected. And then the helpless children who deserve, like you said, we should be sponsoring these children to come here. We should be giving reparations. We should be rebuilding Gaza for what we have let happen with our tax dollars. And instead, this is the outcome. This is the outcome of having a horrific bipartisan agenda that co-signs genocide, apartheid, colonialism, and ethnic cleansing. This is our government, Katie. It is horrific and disgusting. I am so ashamed to be American. I am so disgusted to be an American. And I'm so disappointed in the rest of my citizenry for their lack of outrage. Because at this point, you cannot claim that you didn't know. You cannot claim that you didn't see, that you don't know what's going on. Ignorance is no excuse anymore. And so where are you? Where's your voice? Where is your body? We can't just wait until it comes on your doorstep. These are the children that need us now. All of the children who are starving, they're going to be permanently brain damaged because they're so malnourished. Children, if they're not physically impaired, they will be brain damaged for life because of the acute malnutrition already, even if they're fed today. This is not the world that we want to live in. So we have to fight, even if we're going to lose, Katie, we have to fight, even though we know that we're up against so much, because we can't let Trump and these disgusting criminals win and shape the future.